3 of Tip for Tip. My name is Aaron.
And my name is Christian. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to get more engagement on Facebook, how to get sales from social media, and the number one most important tip in photography.
And to give us that information and ask that question, we have Franklin Williams from FJR Studios. Let's see what he has to say.
What's going on, guys? Hey, I'm sorry, I had to do it. It's Franklin Williams here from FJRstudios.com and YouTube.com/FrankOnTV again. And I'm, shamelessly plugging here. Poster Boy on Instagram. That's POSTERBOI. Hey, guys, Aaron, Christian, thank you so much for having me on your show. I greatly appreciate it. And BitBranding is an awesome company. If you haven't worked with them, you need to do so. I'm talking to you watching this video. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. Guys, Snapchat and Instagram, man, they are my wheelhouse. Whenever I say I love Instagram and I love Snapchat, I love them both. But I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook simply because I can't get the same engagement on there. So I've tried paying for ads and I've tried doing the boosting. I guess that's the same thing. But I can't get that engagement and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So what I need from you guys is some advice on how I can gain that engagement on Facebook and then how I can turn all of my engagements from all three platforms into sales. And I know that's 2 questions, but can you help me out?
All right, that's a great question. And to be honest, I think you're doing a great job on Instagram and Snapchat both. I think you're using those platforms how they're supposed to be used. So on Instagram, you're actually sharing your work, your shoots and those professional pictures with your branding, which is great. And we talked about that before in some of our not tip or tip episodes, on our blab episodes. Mm-hmm. We talked about putting your branding on your work, and that's great. I think you're using Instagram perfectly. Snapchat also, because you're being very consistent on Snapchat and you're actually creating your own story day by day. I mean, every day you're in there actually promoting yourself and talking about yourself and what are you doing that day. And that's great. That's great for Snapchat, and what you're doing on Instagram is great. Now, on Facebook, what we notice is you're doing a little bit too much sharing from your website, and you're really not creating that content for Facebook. So you're spending a lot of time creating really good content for Instagram, really good content for Snapchat, but on Facebook, you're lacking a little bit behind. So what I would suggest is create a little content calendar. Start by doing maybe 3 days a week, and try to keep it consistent. So if you stick out with 3 days a week, make sure that you do 3 days a week, and pick 3 things that you want to share or do those 3 days. So for example, you can do 1 day of video. The next day you can share like a mini album of one of your shoots, and then you can do, I don't know, a graphic or something funny, something fun, showcasing you as a person. You want to make sure that you actually show some personality, and that it's not just all work. That was good, right?
Right.
Good.
Okay. Yeah.
But you want to show it's not always work. You want to make sure that you share a little bit of your life, like you do on Snapchat, and add a little bit more flavor to your Facebook, and kind of try to get people more engaged, ask questions.
Yeah, and the only thing I would add to that, and I made a little note here, is that making sure that you're consistent. So if you do choose to do 3 days per week, or you even choose to do 2 days per week, make sure you consistently do that. That is one of the most forgotten things, is even if you put out great content, but you wait a month to put out another great article, you're just going to lose engagement. I think we saw on your page that there was a gap between a couple of times where the engagement dropped because there was such a long period of time. And it's not that your content wasn't good, but it was the fact that Facebook, it always tries to make the end user happy. And so if you're not engaging with them, they don't think that your stuff's important.
Exactly.
And so your second question is really, how can you use social media and use Facebook and populate that so you can create leads, so you can create sales? And the answer that we have for that is to drive your traffic back to your website. So basically, you want to create something of value that they're willing to give up in either an email address or something compelling enough that you're going to send them to your website. And then from their website, you have tools on there. Like an example would be like Sumo Me. And and we can drop the link in the description as well, above or below. And free tools so you can capture those emails. You can figure out where people are clicking at on your website. That's the data that you need that you can actually use later to target advertising. A lot of people have a misconception with advertising that you want to just target a certain area and these are going to be people who are our leads. Well, it works sometimes like that, but it's a lot better to have a hot lead, somebody who's already been interested in FGR Studios, go to your website, and then you know that you can retarget them. So with a Facebook pixel, with the email address, we kind of can't go into too much detail because of the length of this video, but that's how it would be created a hotter, a better lead. So using that on Instagram and Snapchat too, you can drop links in either one of those to drive people back to your website, and just make sure that you have the tools set up on your website that's going to capture those leads and then advertise to them later. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean, I think we covered that pretty good. Now, if you still have more questions, you know where to contact us, and
Right.
we would love to expand a little bit more on that Facebook pixel and some of those Sumo Me products that you can use to turn some of those visitors into sales. It's a little bit more extensive.
Sorry.
Yes.
Facebook boosting. So we are not really a fan of Facebook boosting, and anybody who's watching this besides Franklin, if you got this far into it, you're probably pretty interested in Facebook. And the tip I have for you is that Facebook boosting, 9 times out of 10, you don't want to do it. You probably do want to do some research on the ads manager, and that's probably where you want to start. But don't just do a boost, because a lot of times it will force you to start to have to pay to play. And I can go into more detail, but as a rule of thumb, don't boost the post. You want to do different advertising routes. So
Yeah. So let's see what you got, man.
Guys, we're going to talk about 2 things that are actually very important to me in the photography world. The first tip is what every girl knows about taking their selfies. It's the same thing when it comes to photography, real professional photography. It's your lighting. Lighting is probably the most important thing whenever it comes to composing your image. Whether you want it to be moody by using one light and creating a lot of contrasting shadows, or if you want it to be evenly lit to actually showcase every attribute of your subject. Lighting is key. So if you want to make that image pop, make sure that your lighting is popping.
Franklin, thank you for the tip. I know that that's something that we have, always been trying to figure out.
Yeah,
And
I hope we have enough lighting here. Is it good? Can you tell us?
Yeah, let us know if the lighting's good here.
Is this my good side? Is this my good side?
Anyway, thank you for the tip and appreciate it. And again, this was episode 3 of Tip for Tip. Thank you again, FJR Studios, Franklin Williams. And if you are a small business owner, you have a question about social media, marketing, or anything to do with marketing, we'd love to answer your question. And if you want to get some more information, just leave us a comment below. That's the best thing we can do right now.
Yeah. Later now.
Later now.
Radical.
Later now.